So welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be doing a dupe comparison video, and I'm really excited about this because this is a hot product right now. So on one side of my face, I'm going to go in with the KVD Good Apple Skin Perfecting Foundation. I actually already did a full review and 2-day wear test on this, so if you have not seen that, definitely check it out. And then on the other side, I'm going to be testing out the Milani Cream to Powder Foundation. I've actually never tested out this foundation before, so I'm excited to put both of these to the test because the price difference is huge. The KVD one retails for $38, the Milani one is $11. I picked this up at Walmart. You can also get it online. Ulta also sells Milani as well, but I'm not sure if they have this foundation. Honestly, your best bet would probably be Walmart. I feel like Walmart has the best selection when it comes to Milani. But yeah, I'm excited about this. As far as product goes, the Milani one has 0.28 ounces and then the KVD one has 0.35 ounces. So this one has a little bit more, but again, the price difference is huge. So I'm really curious to see how it's gonna wear. So that is the plan for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy. Definitely grab a snack and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And let's get into this dupe comparison video. Okay, so skin is prepped. I do have a combo skin if you guys are new. So on my right side, which is going to be your left when you're watching, I'm going to start off with the KVD Good Apple Foundation. I have mine in the shade medium 033, which is a really good match. So I'm just going to use my Haley's Beauty sponge on this side, and I'm just going to use a little bit because again, this is very full coverage and I feel like a little bit goes a long way. So I'm kind of just spreading out the foundation and then I'm going to blend it out. I feel like when you spread it out, because it's a little bit thicker, it helps to just blend in the product a little bit better. So I'm going to go in with my Haley's Beauty sponge. Definitely is a super like flawless foundation, especially when you first apply it. It looks really, really pretty, but less is more when you're using this just because it is so full coverage. You definitely don't need a ton of product. I've heard this foundation though is not really great if you have oily skin. Again, I have combo skin and I just found that it worked best for me when I used less product and it just lasted a little bit better. But we'll see how this Milani foundation compares because I mean, that price difference though. So that is the KVD foundation. It's really pretty on the skin. Like I said, it's super flawless when you first apply it. And it might look a little bit more dewy on my skin because I did use a dewy primer beforehand. Now let's go in with the Milani one. I actually haven't used this foundation, but I did swatch it. You can see it right there because I wasn't sure if the shade was gonna match. So I just put some on the back of my hand and I think it's gonna work. I mean, obviously my hand is different than my face, but we'll see. So I got mine in the shade Light Beige. So packaging wise, this is what it looks like. I think it's nice. I really like Milani's packaging. I think it's always super sleek and pretty. And it also comes with this little sponge here, which I normally never use to be honest, but if you use them, it comes with it. So just touching this foundation, also wanted to mention, it doesn't feel as like thick or oily as the KVD one. It definitely feels a little bit more kind of like a balm and a little bit less oily, which I really like. So let's do about the same. Oh wow, I think this is actually gonna be like a perfect match. You can't even really see me applying it because I think the shade is actually gonna be perfect. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the KVD foundation, kind of just spreading it out with my finger because it just makes it easier, I feel like, to blend. Wow, it doesn't even really look like foundation on the face. The texture and consistency of both is different. So just to show you, this is the KVD foundation, and like when you dip your finger in, you get so much product. It's very, very creamy. It feels like more oily and thick. And I'll do a little swatch just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. So that is the KVD foundation, and then I'm going to use a different finger to show you the Milani foundation is more of like a balm, and you see it's not as oily. So a swatch there, you can see obviously the shades are different, but like you can kind of see that shine on the KVD one, whereas with the Milani one, it's more of like a balm and it's a little bit less thick and way less oily. So I'm actually going to just build this up a little bit because you can see I have a little pimple peeking through here and a little bit on my forehead, so I want to see how it builds up. And since it is a little bit less thick, to me at least right now, versus the KVD one, I feel like I can build it up without having any issues with it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and you can see that actually covered up perfectly. I feel like this could be a really great foundation if you have to spot conceal on your face. First impression, I already kind of like this more than the KVD one. Okay, so I just built that up. It builds up really, really nicely. I feel like you can actually get away with using more of the Milani one, again, just because of the texture and the formula of it. The shade is like so perfect. And again, I primed with the same primer all over my face, so you can kind of just see a little comparison. This is Milani. This is KVD. Wow, the Milani one, I feel like it just looks a little bit more seamless and natural. It's so crazy. Also, the first time that I tested out the KVD foundation, I did use a brush, and I feel like using a brush with products like this, it kind of makes you go through the product quicker. And I find the best result with products like this is applying it with my finger first and then blending it out. I feel like I can control how much product I'm using. This is definitely one of those products where it's like, wow, it looks really seamless on both sides, but it definitely feels a little bit more lightweight on the Milani side. And I like the texture and the formula of the product more, even just using it with my finger and applying it on the skin. I think it's a little bit more seamless and more lightweight. And also right now it's a little bit later in the day, but I will still wear this for a few hours. It is 12:33 p.m. So I just finished up the rest of my makeup. I just did it off camera because normally with these kinds of videos, I really just want to make it all about the foundation, but I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what's on the face. So for my under eyes, I just have on the Milani Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint. I have been loving this with so many different concealers. It is so beautiful. Then I used the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo over top to set everything, because I always have to set my products no matter what foundation I'm using. If not, nothing will work. I'm just using the Haley's Retouch Soft Focus Setting Powder, which is one of my holy grails. And then for the under eyes, for a little bit of a bright look, I have on the Bare Minerals Well Rested Powdered Concealer. And yeah, I pretty much just have on blush and a bronzer. I didn't actually do any highlighter today because I wanted to keep it super simple. And also wanted to mention, I did set my makeup and I used the Milani Make It Last Peach Setting Spray. So I used this before to prep the skin, and then I also used it after just to set my makeup. But holy cow, you guys, this looks so good. I don't really see a huge difference between the Milani and the KVD side. Honestly, they both look really, really smooth, but when I first applied both of the foundations, the Milani one definitely felt more lightweight. I feel like it builds up a little bit better and it looks and feels less cakey versus the KVD one, where, like I said earlier, a little bit goes a long way with that one. But with the Milani one, I'm super impressed. I think the finish is a little bit more natural than the KVD one. It definitely, even just to the touch, it feels less oily. The formula feels a little bit more lightweight. First impression, I'm really loving the Milani one, honestly, and I love that shade match. It looks incredibly flawless, to be honest. They both do. They both feel really nice. Let me know if you guys can see a big difference right now. I mean, obviously the big test is going to be later on in a few hours to see how they both wear, but this Milani one is looking so good and so smooth, honestly. Both of them look really porcelain. I can't really see a big difference. Like, you wouldn't know, I feel like, if I was out in public right now, that I'm wearing two different foundations. So it is around 1 o'clock right now, and I'm going to come back in a few hours and I'll keep you guys updated on how everything looks, but I think we have a really good $11 dupe in our hands. Hey guys, I'm back. It is now around 7 p.m. So I've been wearing this makeup for about 7 hours, and today was a pretty busy day. I was actually grocery shopping, so I was wearing my mask kind of on and off, like taking it off when I was going to the store, putting it back on for, I would say, about 2 hours, because I have to go to multiple stores to get everything that I need. So I was running my errands. I also did take Bernard on a walk when it stopped raining. Today was a rainy, gloomy day. That's why we're back in the beauty room with studio lights, because the natural light unfortunately went down pretty early tonight. But I have not applied anything. I did reapply my lip color like always, but other than that, I have not touched my face at all, you guys. I was definitely busy for the day, and I feel like this held up so nicely today, like surprisingly. Both sides look the same. Like, I literally cannot tell a difference between both sides and how they wore. I can't say that one side looks better. I mean, you guys see things that I don't see, so let me know what you think, but I feel like they look identical. I literally cannot tell a difference. They're both super smooth. They're actually still in place even though I was wearing a mask, which is also like very, very surprising. The only really, I mean, two complaints, I guess you could say, that I have are the fact that like my forehead is a little bit shiny, but it's not really like super greasy looking. I feel like it's just more of like a little bit of a shine peeking through, and that's obviously because I was like running around and stuff all day, so it's kind of bound to happen, especially with my combo skin. It doesn't usually bother me unless it's like super, super excessive, but normally a blotting sheet can fix that in like less than a minute, so not a huge deal. Also, it did kind of settle into my smile lines. I feel like that could easily be fixed maybe with a like smoothing kind of pore filling primer, which I didn't use today. I've just been really loving that dewy primer from Milani. I love the way that it makes my skin feel and look. So that's pretty much all that I've been using along with the primer water, and I feel like I'm good. I don't really mind too much about my smile lines because I feel like they're not super prominent, but if that's an issue for you, definitely recommend maybe using a smoothing primer for the Milani foundation as well, because you can see it wore just like the KVD one. But you guys, it still looks so smooth. It's still on my nose, in place, still around my mouth, even though I was wearing a mask. The Milani foundation is so impressive, and it's literally identical, and it's only $11. So I'm gonna touch up my makeup because I'm curious to see how it's gonna look, even though I feel like right now I could still go a couple more hours, I would say, with wearing the foundation if I really wanted to, but I'm gonna blot and touch up and see how it looks. So I'm just gonna use these little e.l.f. blotting sheets. Let's see, but like, okay, come through, Milani, for like this $11 foundation compared to $38. Like, this is like amazing. I really like the way the face looks today. I feel like it looks really fresh, but still like good coverage and not too oily. That is some oil oil on the forehead. So it, you know, it is oily, but I feel like it's not excessive. I'm just gonna blot the rest of my face. So this is kind of the oil that I have on the rest of my face. So honestly, not terrible for the fact that like I was out wearing a mask and, you know, it was rainy and gross out. Not that bad. I feel like it looks worse than it actually feels on the face. I actually feel very comfortable wearing this makeup today. It doesn't feel heavy. And I'm also really impressed with the Milani foundation because I did apply more than the KVD one. And the last thing I wanted to mention about the foundation from Milani is that it is a cream to powder foundation. After it was kind of sitting on my face for a little bit, I didn't really notice any kind of powdery finish or anything too drying or matte on the skin. It definitely felt super natural. I didn't really get like a powdery kind of effect from it. It definitely felt more seamless and less oily than the KVD one, like I mentioned, but it definitely didn't have like a powder finish, at least for me. Maybe it was the way that I prepped my skin, but I still felt the need to go in with powder afterwards to set the makeup. So just a little FYI, I feel like maybe if you have super dry skin, you might not need powder, but for me personally, I felt like a little powder definitely helped. Final thoughts, do we have a dupe? I have to say 100% yes, we have a really great spot on dupe. We have not only a really amazing dupe, but the dupe in this case, I think, at least for me, is better than the high-end version. I mean, $11 versus $38, that's huge. And I feel like both sides wore really well. I can't lie. This side today wore nicely because I did use less product, but if I had to choose, I would say definitely go with the dupe. I mean, it's $11 and you get the same result. So honestly, I feel like this foundation could work with any skin type. I don't feel like it was excessively oily. It wasn't dry. It didn't cling to anything on my face, but wow, yeah, this looks really good, you guys. I literally don't have any complaints about the Milani foundation. I think it's amazing, and I feel like you will love this if you want great coverage that feels like nothing, but that's also really long wearing. So if you're gonna be wearing a mask, or if you know you're gonna be like out and busy throughout the day, I think this is a great foundation. I'm gonna definitely keep using it, and if anything changes, I will keep you guys updated, but as of now, for today, I think this is a great dupe, and I'm super impressed with it. So, moment of silence for another amazing dupe to add to the collection. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this was helpful. If you guys have tried this foundation, let me know your thoughts. And that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!